The reason I asked about where does Indian foreign policy, or how would you define Indian foreign policy as it stands today, through much of the 50s and 60s, it was defined as non-alignment. And then we had this period called strategic autonomy. And then there was multipolarity. Now I think many people in this audience and people who are watching you across the world, what they want to know is, where are we? Are we in the US camp? Are we in the Russian camp? Are we in our own camp?
We are not perhaps at a stage where we can say we have our own camp. But as I said, a lot of countries take their cues. I see this every day. For example, in the UN, we are a member of the Security Council. There are almost daily issues which come up before us. Many of these issues go into the General Assembly. So a lot of countries do ask you. So saying, what are you going to do? What's your vote like? What are you going to say? But I would say our influence is growing. But I would say we are quite far from where you can say we would have our camp in the way in which, say, the US has a camp. Maybe the world will be very different and there will be no need to have a camp. I don't know. But where, other powers are concerned, and many of them in terms of capability and influence are more powerful than us, we must accept that. We will have on many issues, there will be countries with whom we would agree, we would have common interests on many issues. There will be some where it will be deeper, there will be some it will be less, there will be some where we will have virtually no similarity of interest, there will be very sharp contradiction. So you will get a spectrum. But the reason why I said it's very important for us to be independent and self-confident is, if we want to get the best out of the world for India, we must have that ability to look at a situation, look at it very clinically, assess our interests, pick our course of action. Now, it will not be constant. There will be issues, where I may agree with country X or a group Y more than I would others. So it will, in some senses, appear inconsistent. But inconsistency in that is a subset of independence there. And I think we should not allow that mind game to be played that, somewhere you are an outlier, you are not in sync with the world, etc. That's very hegemonic. That's like saying, if you're not with us,
you're against us.
No, you are sort of out of the mainstream. I don't think people are necessarily saying today on some issues, the pressure is not for us or against us. The pressure is, you really should be with us because you're missing out on something. It's not, it's not right, or there are very nuanced ways of developing that argument.